Hi everyone. So in terms of the feminist pedagogy, the first thing I thought about was just this whole idea that the personal needs to become political. We have these themes that you have to have a critical consciousness and this awareness that will then spill over into action because you feel the need to act. You can no longer, be unaware and oblivious. So you know something, you have to do something or not, because both of those are actions, right? So it's taking this personal to become political. And I really, when I think about this issue of feminism, I know I've mentioned Ruth Bader Ginsburg before, but there are so many people who have come before us that have made things possible. For example, in her case, she had to overachieve and become the first woman to go to both Harvard and Columbia Law School, and be on the law review and be number one in her class, all of those things. But yet she couldn't be hired by the firms because she couldn't be seen. So she worked behind the scenes. She worked on so many things and made it possible for us to at least use the law to get equal pay, even if it's happening in places where we're not. So that was her role and her responsibility and what she did for us. So I think about, what do we do? I mean, how can we make that personal, an everyday occurrence, and make it also political? And what will our students be able to say about us? And I've struggled with how to have these conversations because I have areas of privilege, and then I have some areas where I'm in a marginalized group. But I know in situations where I am, in the non-dominant group, even me, I feel like I don't want to speak and I feel uncomfortable. So how do we create these comfortable spaces, and how do we deal with these students who express their views about reverse racism, or which doesn't exist? Thank you for clarifying that with Sensoy and D'Angelo. But how do we do that? Because the most outrageous things that we hear sometimes are our biggest opportunities. So just navigating that space. So I'd really like to know how you guys have been able to have those conversations. How when has it been successful in your classroom, and what are some ideas that we can then use and share? Do you have specific articles or specific activities, things that can really bring a rich discussion that we can then navigate through and do it in a way that people aren't so threatened that they're going to lose power, that the conversation shuts down? So I want to hear your thoughts about that. And also, in these conversations and in these issues that come up that really make us angry, I think there are often our biggest opportunities. For example, when we had the gender neutral bathroom issue and how people were so up in arms about the restrooms, and some of the people in my learning community just didn't understand. But then we went into an exercise created by Kate, where one of the it was about social justice, and one of the areas was you went into these little rooms, and there was a transgender student who explained just how important that was for her, and how she often felt bullied in a male bathroom, and how this threat of danger from people who were cisgender, that didn't seem at all relevant after we talked to her. And it really brought a new light to the subject, and I think it created a connection and community, and that's really what we need in order for people to who just can't relate to the issue to at least see it. So those are my thoughts. I look forward to yours.